Welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Palin from, I believe, Tosh Station Cantina. I hope I said that right. If not, forgive me. Palin is a dolphin. It's been playing for about 10 months or so, and kind of wanted to know about a potential heroic AAT team, his arena, how that's looking, ships, as far as, you know, how is he doing in ships. And you can see he's doing very well in ships. And then also, should he finish the Jawas up just high enough so he can do crit chance or crit damage mod sets. And then also on Heroic AAT, you know, some team possibilities there as well. So we're going to go right into Arena. And I've noticed that he has the newest Ray. And of course, a double Zated Ray at that. The Virtuous Protector, which is the part where she can basically shrug off debuffs, is pretty cool, and eventually that will be a thing. You went offense set and potency set, which is what I did, which makes her do a ton of damage. And I think your speeds are, yeah, over 200, not too shabby at all. So very cool that you've embraced this in Arena. You also have BB-8 and R2-D2, and with R2-D2, you've got to max out Improvise, and then you also will eventually want to do both of his Zetas, with Numbers Crunch being first and then Combat Analysis second. The reason why Combat Analysis is so cool is all the light side will dispel all the debuffs by just critting, and that critting is going to happen on her team. So everybody cleanses themselves like instantaneously, basically nonstop. They're constantly cleansing themselves. So you don't need a cleanser for your team. And of course, I know you're gearing up BB-8. Eventually, you want to get him to gear 12. He's gear 10 right now. And I know you did roll with the punches, so that's excellent. Highly recommend that you don't do the self-preservation protocol for now. That is not a necessary Zeta, but BB-8 is coming along. And those three in the front are your necessary evils. You've got to have them for this team, BB-8 and R2-D2. As far as the back two slots, they can be about any two characters that you have. You have Poe right now for the exposed synergy and Thrawn. The problem with Poe is he is super fast potentially and whatnot, and he has that synergy, but he isn't durable for Arena, especially on defense. I've tested it out pretty thoroughly. It's pretty fun, but when looking at all of your potential individuals that you have to use, you do have Baze, and you do have Chirrut, and there's a possibility you might want to use that combination because Chirrut and Baze are really hard to kill, and with the combination, you still get the benefits of Chirrut and Baze, the dispelling, the healing, the health over time, all sorts of stuff like that. And you have Baze at almost gear 12, and then Chirrut is one piece away from gear 10. And so that's a possibility right now. Also, I know this sounds crazy, but using Baze with Grand Admiral Thrawn, because Baze is very, very, very tanky and has a very good tool set, and Grand Admiral Thrawn would regenerate that protection. But at the end of the day, obviously, I know you don't have your old Ben really, really high yet. You've got old Ben 7 stars gear 10, but that would be the tank, one of the main tanks that I would recommend for this particular lineup. I would put your old Ben, which is a gear 10 7 star, and your abilities are not very high on him. I would get him up, max him out. He's really an in-game character for this particular team, and he has a couple of Zetas. The one I would really recommend is his Devoted Protector. That way you can use him, and then I would use him probably with Thrawn in the background because your Thrawn is so well developed, and so that way you have him being able to double taunt and also Thrawn regenerating protection on him. And when they end up killing him, it's okay because he's basically going to give basically kind of a ghetto version of Illuminated Destiny himself. So definitely continue developing all the characters you have in your main lineup, but Thrawn in the background probably with old Ben, and I think that would work sufficiently. I know we talked about this a little bit already in our chat. As far as ships, you're doing very well, and I believe you place first every day. You know, you drop a little like everybody does. And so I'm looking at this. You're using the Chimera. You're using 3 ships that target lock, and then you've also got the Umbaran and Biggs, and that's a pretty durable front line, and it's really something that will help you just chew right through opposing teams and whatnot. And so I'm not going to tell you to change anything. If something's not broke, don't fix it, right? I will tell you that you need to treat your pilots just like you treat your main arena team. You need to put them in your favorites and gear them up and level their abilities up and put 5-dot mods on them. You've got to really make sure you're maxing it out, because this is where your crystals are really coming from. And you know this, comparatively to your main arena, you're getting way more crystals out of this now than you are the others. So make sure you're investing equally into your pilots as well. And then you asked about the Jawas. And you basically have them, you know, where you need them, except for the gear, and the low-level gear to like gear 6, gear 7 is actually pretty quick and pretty fast. You could do this in a week, getting all 5 of these guys up to the gear level that you need to do that. If it was me, my OCD nature would just say, yes, get them up to like gear 7 as fast as possible and do the Jawa mod challenge just to get it done, because you said it's the only mod challenge you haven't completed. So I would do that. Like I said, you probably have a lot of low-end gear sitting around that could probably get these guys up really pretty quickly, and with a 1-week dedication you should be able to get them all up to, you know, gear 7 pretty easily and beat the mod challenge, just so you can mark that off of your to-dos, because it's under your skin. It's why you asked me if you should do it, and so I'm giving you permission. Yes, pause for a minute and just get this done, get it out of the way so it's off of your mental to-do list, and then you'll feel better and you can then refocus on your ship's pilots and arena and things like that. Now, you asked about the heroic AAT, and there's really only 2 teams I'm going to suggest to you. And the first is the Phase 2 Resistance team. Now, you're going to need to use 5 of these. And in another team, you're actually going to use Rey and R2-D2 and BB-8. So your BB-8, R2, and Rey, those 3 are going to go into a specialized team for the end of Phase 3, Phase 4. So the remaining balance of your characters, you got your Finn lead with Poe, Rey Scavenger, Resistance Pilot, and Trooper. That 5 is going to work phenomenal. And depending upon your speeds and whatnot, and your gear level and stuff, how much damage they do, you should be able to do a very easy 6 to 12 million. I know that's a huge variance, but again, the faster they are, the more turns they'll end up getting. I know there's turn meter reduction or turn meter gain through the exposes, but at the end of the day, the amount of damage they do when they hit, it matters. It really does. And the gear, like you have, gearing them up to gear 11 and stuff helps. So you should, like I said, very easily be able to do roughly somewhere in the ballpark of 10 million with the Resistance team I'm suggesting for Phase 2. And then for Phase 3 and 4, wait till you're down below 50% of Phase 3 to jump in. And then when you're below the 50% on Phase 3, you're going to actually run Rey Jedi training in the lead with BB-8 and R2-D2, kind of like your current arena team. And then in the background, you're going to put your Han Solo. He's Zetaed. He's going to reduce turn meter. Now, I know he's 6 stars, so obviously with Han, you have to finish him, but you probably are getting really, really close to being done with him. So I'm just telling you about a team that as soon as he's 2 7-stars, you'll be able to place in there. He has a lot of turn meter reduction, and it's either turn meter reduction or extra damage, basically. He's going to either do a lot of extra damage or he's going to reduce the turn meter. So really, really good. And I would also put in there Commander Luke Skywalker. Now, I know you don't have Commander Luke Skywalker, but they said that event was coming back soon. Wink, 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 soon. And so with that, because of what they said, you should be expecting that to come around soon. So then we have to take a look at the characters that you have. You got Old Ben, sufficiently high, R2-D2 high, Stormtrooper Han high. And so you've got the characters, you know, Leia, you've got Leia good. So really, in the old school Luke Skywalker Farm Boys done. So really, as soon as this event comes out for CLS, you'll be able to play it, get 7 stars, and then you'll just have to gear them up. So with this said, the Phase 3-4 team, you'll have the 3 you've developed, Rey, R2 and BB-8, and then in the back you'll have a 7-star Han as soon as you get him to 7 stars, and your CLS as soon as you get him unlocked and geared up. And this team can pretty easily do another 10 million. So realistically, if you're not perfect with playing, so 10 million, that's about 20 million damage. That is a solid number for damage for anybody, for any team. I know there are those extreme cases of people that are doing in the 30 millions, you know, 32, 34 million. That's great, but 20 million is extremely respectable out of 2 teams that you'll be able to use, and one of your teams is already developed. So I hope this helps out who you should be using for the heroic AA teams. I wouldn't focus on too many. It's too much. I would just focus on the one team in for phase 3 and 4, which is the CLS and Han Solo, to finish those off. So something that you could talk to your team about, the Tosh Station Cantina, is to let them know that if it's possible for a short period of time that because you do not have your Han Solo maxed out, if there's a bunch of people who have their Han Solo maxed out, you could ask them to step down and not do as much damage during the Rancor raid. I know with Team Instinct, when I joined, there was a lot of people that already had a 7-star 7-star Han Solo, and so what they did is they allowed all of us who did not have a 7-star Han Solo to place in the top 10 for a period of time until we unlocked him or got him to 7 stars, and then we went back to business as usual. It's kind of about being part of the team and working as a team, so that way those who are furthest away get the best opportunity to those shards. But just a thought, I'm not telling you have to, I just hope the team listens and considers that, because you definitely want to finish it off, and it will help the whole team in general when you have 7 stars, because it will allow for you to really smash the phase 3 and phase 4 portion. Phase 1 is really a phase that most people don't have trouble with. Phase 2 as well, pretty easy. It's where we get into phase 3 and 4 that gets a little more difficult for most people, and this is the teams that I'm kind of suggesting for you. So you're doing great in Arena. Just keep developing. Remember, you're going to want to probably, instead of Poe, throw Old Ben in there, but you're going to have to finish developing him. And as far as the Jawa Mod Challenge, I give you permission, do it. As always, Paylin, have yourself a wonderful afternoon. If anybody has comments or questions, leave them down below, and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.